You ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? What up, y'all? It's your boy Jamar.
And I'm Brianna.
And this is
the Safe Word Podcast.
Season 3.
Episode 9.
Wow. You know, we wanted to do something a little bit different this episode. So before we get into that, I personally, being from New York, we lost a legend this past weekend. Earl Simmons, a.k.a. DMX. Unfortunately, there was a tragic situation, and he passed away. So we wanted to definitely express our condolences to a legend whose music was amazing, but more so his spirit, his personality, the way that he reached people, his conviction, his faith in God. It definitely impacted the world. So rest in peace to DMX, and our thoughts and prayers are with the family and those who support and love him. Mm-hmm. So I want to toast to that, to DMX and his legacy.
DMX, Rough Rider. Oh,
yeah. So definitely gonna miss him, but we got his music and we got his legend, so his legacy as well. We want to do something a little bit different in today's episode. So this is episode 9 of the 3rd season. We only have one more episode left, but we want to introduce something to you guys, all right? And in this episode, we are going to bring to you Safe Word Stories.
Ooh, dun, 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 dun.
Boom. So Safe Word Stories are basically a conversation between the two hosts, Brianna and myself. And we're going to recount a situation that has happened to us that is not unique to us. I'm sure other people have dealt with it, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. So with that being said, we're still going to have the safe word, and the safe word is drumline. I love how you was right there with me, though. I appreciate that. Anyway, so
wait, fun fact, I've always wanted to be in a drum line ever since I was like 12. It never happened though, but that was always a lifelong dream of mine.
Well, I was almost on the drum line when I joined band. I wanted to play the drums like most dudes growing up, and my band director at the time, I think she was honestly sick and tired of everybody trying to go to the drums, so she was like,
they all are.
Why don't you try trumpet?
That's how they get you.
I tried trumpet, and I spent, I don't even know how many years. I was in band, middle school, high school, and college, part of college. So, you know, shout out to Miss McMorris, who definitely
steered way.
Me into a path. And you know, the trumpet is where it's at, baby, but we're not going to talk about that right now. All right, so on today's episode of Safe Word Stories, we are going to talk about the time where I had a female come to the house to link up with me. That's how's that for clickbait, huh?
Wow.
All right, so I'm gonna tell the story. I'm gonna tell my side of the story, and then we're going to address, I guess, the actual situation that happened. So, at my job, we had an event, and one of my coworkers needed a ride because their ride wasn't available, so it needed a ride there. And she would find her way back if this was a female, like I said. So for me, it wasn't no big deal. Mind you, I should start off by saying that Brianna and I were dating for a year and change, less than 2 years, I feel like.
Yeah,
It was coming on 2 years.
I think it was coming on 2 years.
It was coming on 2 years. But anyway, so I said no problem because I didn't see a big deal about it. I didn't see the big deal. So I said, you know, I had her meet me at my house. she got dropped off at my house. Like, we took her. Technically, it was like the front of my community, so it wasn't like my house itself, but it was like before you go into the gate. And I brought her there, and that was it. Apparently, this was a huge deal, and I wasn't aware. So in my mindset, I'm not thinking about, anything nefarious or whatever. I'm looking at it as a coworker who needs a ride. Male or female wouldn't matter to me. Up to this point, what do you feel? Where was your side of it coming in?
Well, I mean, when you took her, you were aware because you told me beforehand. I think you told me like a couple days before, or maybe the day before. But basically, he brought it up in conversation. I don't even remember how it was brought up, but he basically told me that this particular coworker needed a ride, and that they were going to carpool, and that she was going to meet him at the house. So when I first heard that she was gonna ride with him, I was like, okay, I mean, she can ride with somebody else, but whatever. But it was, she's gonna meet me at the house for me. That was the part that just threw me off. I was like, I'm sorry, what? She's gonna meet you where? What? What? So, yeah, I basically told him, I was like, I don't like that. Like, what do you mean she's gonna meet you at the house? And he was just like, what do you mean? What do I mean? Basically, like, confused as to why I was upset. And basically for me, I don't like to, I'm pretty black and white, and I feel like Jamar is like a big colorful ball.
Like, I'm a colorful canvas.
Yeah, like, he is just so open minded and very just like, like, he doesn't see issues with certain things like I do. And for me personally, like, I was thinking in my head, like, I would never tell my male coworker to meet me at my house to give him a ride anywhere. First of all, I wouldn't even offer to give him a ride anywhere. But if it so happens that I was in like that situation where I had to give him a ride, I would never tell him to meet me at my house. So I guess I was thinking of it that way, because I know, like, you don't intend to do things that you're not supposed to do, but sometimes when you find yourself in certain situations, things happen, and one thing leads to another or whatever. So that's kind of like where my mind was going. And because I personally try my best not to put myself in a position to be tempted, or in a situation where anybody else could be tempted, I guess I felt like he should have done the same. And I was just like, why would you even offer? You know what I mean? Like, why would you even, why? Like, why couldn't you let somebody else do it, or her figure it out, or take a damn Uber? Like, why? So that's really what I was upset about. And I told him, I was like, I really am uncomfortable, especially because I was not going to be there. Not saying that I thought that he was going to do anything, but it was just the principle for me. Like, I don't like the fact that some female that I don't know is coming to the house. So that's my side of the story. And he was just like, huh, what?
I wasn't like, huh, what? All right, let's not act brand new. Okay. My thought process was very much so, what's the big deal? Like,
exactly. Huh, what?
I'm not somebody who is so wrapped up in those type of things. You want to link up and go to an event, and you want to save gas, you want to carpool, whatever. I don't have a problem with that. In this particular situation, the girl's partner was the one who dropped her off. I'm fully aware of this dude. We've met before. We've all met before. It wasn't a big deal for me because, mind you, Brianna's very much a much more introverted person than I am, and I'm much more extroverted, to where I can meet people, I can be cool with you. I'm chill, I'm not the type of person that is gonna draw boundaries right away. I draw boundaries if you slight me. So in that situation, because I work with this person very well, and one of the people who I work with the most, I wouldn't even think about anything that was, like I said, nefarious or suspect or whatever. To me, it's literally just riding together to get to a destination. Mind you, our backstories are a little bit different. We've dealt with different challenges in our life. I've never, in my mindset, cheating, infidelity, adultery, any of that stuff doesn't exist to me. I believe I would rather leave the person if I feel like I'm going to cheat on them. That doesn't make sense to me. That's just how I was raised personally. And I know that people can come up with the story of, well, you never know what's going to happen when you're in that situation and blah, blah, blah. But there was no situation. It was literally us driving to an event and then peacing out. We're going our separate ways. So in that sense, to me, I couldn't understand where she was coming from because, quite frankly, I don't operate like that. I don't believe in some of the things that some of these dudes are out here doing. It's not my style. I don't judge anybody, but it's not for me. So because I had I guess, noble intentions, for her to come to the table with that mindset, really, it blew me. Honestly, it really did. Because I was like, where are you coming from with all this? That's when I was like, huh? What? Because it didn't even come into my head. And first of all. Second of all, drumline. I'm not a very easy person to sway over to begin with. Like, it's not like I look and gas up every female that's around me. Everybody knows how much I adore Brianna. Everybody knows how lucky I feel to be with her. And everybody knows that I take pride in the fact that we're together. It ain't just any old female that's going to even get me to look their way. That's another thing. That's another thing that you should have taken into consideration also in that situation.
Well, I want to reiterate again that it's not that I thought that he was going to cheat. That's not what was making me upset. It literally was the principle. It was just the fact that there was another female that I didn't know that was coming to the house, and it was not discussed with me prior to it being arranged. So for me, I was just like, excuse you? Like that white guy, the meme where he's like, what? So that's really what it was for me. I didn't think in my mind that he was going to cheat or that she was going to try. I mean, again, I don't know her, so I don't know what she's capable of trying, or I don't know what is going through her mind. I don't know what ulterior motives that she has. However, that's not really what I was thinking about. It was just the principle. Like, I don't like the fact that there's a female coming to the house. First of all, I don't even like the fact that she asked, if she did ask, for a ride and then was okay with coming to the house. Like that's just what I was thinking about. And now that, that situation is like over a year old, looking back, like, I don't think I would have gotten as angry.
This was a big deal at the time.
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal for me. I was pretty upset. And looking back, I think now maybe because I know Jamar more and I'm even more comfortable in the relationship than I was back then. Not saying that I wasn't, but I'm even more comfortable and I feel more secure in the relationship. But I feel like if it were to happen today, I would still not be 100% okay with it, because that's just, to my core, that's just how I feel. I'm not going to be okay with that, but I wouldn't be angry now. So I just wanted to reiterate that it's not that I thought that he was going to cheat. That's not what was going through my mind. I didn't like the fact that was arranged. And I wasn't told until after the fact.
Well, like I said, again, just to reiterate, okay, it wasn't at my house. It was in front of the gates. And there's a way longer way to get there after you get to the gate. Yes,
but remember, it was going to... Okay, so that's the other thing. Because he told me that she was going to meet him at the apartment. And because I got upset, he ended up just having her meet him at the gate. So she didn't even come into the apartment.
Compromise, right?
Yes, but let's make sure that they know that in the beginning, she was going to come to the apartment before I said anything. Mm-hmm. And then you made that adjustment afterwards. Mm-hmm. So it's not like that wasn't going to happen.
So, okay. So that's fine. In my mindset, going back to what I said before, there's no issue with you with me having somebody come and meet me at the house. It's not like they're coming inside for a drink or something. Me have her having her partner drop her off to the apartment, me coming out and we just riding, didn't seem like a big deal to me. So once she expressed her concern about that, then I switched it and I said, okay, fine, have her meet me outside of the gate. It's no big deal. But it ended up still being a big deal because, at the time, Brianna was not as open with conflict resolution as she is now. So she was very much the it's fine type of person. And then she's a different person for at least a few hours to a few days until she lets you know, like.
Yeah, I'm the type of person that usually shuts down when I'm angry. I don't want to talk. Like, there are some people that they're angry, they want to talk it out, they want to tell you how they're feeling. I'm not like that. I'm gonna need a few hours, depending on how big the situation is, to collect my thoughts and to deliver them to you in a way that is constructive. Because anything that comes out of my mouth at that moment will not be constructive. So,
well, before we continue, we want to open it up to you guys. Make sure you guys are commenting in the comment section or on Instagram or whatever what you feel your reaction would be in that situation. If you are a man, or it doesn't matter if you're male or female, if you see things Brianna's way, if you see things my way, let us know and let us know why. Because ultimately, to me, it breaks down to, and this is a drumline conversation, but to me, it breaks down to a level of trust. And I know that Brianna didn't see it that way at the time. So for me, it was like, well, if you know me and you trust me, we've been dating for almost 2 years now, because I believe that happened in February of 2020. Yeah, so that was almost 2 years. We're 2 years officially in March, so it was a month before. If that happens in February and we're 2 years strong, then you should know me by that point to know that what may or may not have happened to you in the past, or may or may not have happened to a friend or whatever, what you hear is not necessarily going to be what's going on in this house. That's one. Two, I'm going to say something. Drum line, like I said. Because I was in a single mindset for so long, I didn't go in back-to-back relationships growing when I was in my dating age like Brianna was. Like, I wasn't going from relationship.
I wasn't going from relationship to relationship either.
Well, when I say that, I mean, like, you have probably had more relationships than I have, right? But we both know that. So I spent a long period of time where I was single. And so my mentality was a lot more geared towards things that single people do, in terms of not necessarily informing your partner of things. Like, we used to deal with that all the time, where I would do something and then she'd be like, well, why the hell didn't you tell me about this? And I'm like, honestly, babe, I didn't even think about it. So that was my little buffer. This was my house. This is my apartment. Like, this was where I live. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't need to tell you necessarily if somebody's going to come to my house and we're going to carpool for permission's sake. Like, if I bring it up in conversation, then, that's fine. And obviously if the person comes inside the house, and that's different. But for me, it was so nonchalant, so casual, that somebody getting dropped off by their partner to go and by their man to go and come with me to a work function, it was so minuscule to me that I was like, I'm not even thinking about that. So when she was like, well, why didn't you tell me, blah blah blah, my first instinct was like, well, this is my house. This is I pay bills here. You don't live here, so why do I need to clear it with you? I know it's not necessarily the best thing to say, but we're not perfect.
I feel like, and now that the situation's over, I can actually receive what he's saying constructively, because if he were to tell me that back then, I probably would have slapped him in the face. But I get what he's saying. It's his house, blah, blah, blah. However, there are certain things that you do for your partner or that you tell your partner out of respect. And that's where I was coming from. I didn't feel respected by him telling me after the fact that he was going to have some chick meet him at the house. And I mean, she's not some chick. She's his coworker. But this is how I was thinking about it in my mind. Some chick is meeting him at the house and he's going to give her a ride. Lord knows why. I don't know why she couldn't just gather up some money and get an Uber. But this is where we are. And for me, I felt I didn't feel respected. I didn't feel valued that he just went ahead and just arranged this without even thinking about how I would feel about it. And again, it's going back to me thinking about how I would have handled the situation, and me thinking like, if my coworker were to ask me, for a ride somewhere or whatever, and wanted to meet me at the house, I would think automatically about how would Jamar feel about this. And I feel like it kind of goes back, not to bring up like a Bible verse, but like I think about the Bible verse that says, avoid the very appearance of evil. Like, how is it going to look that a guy is coming to my house and he's getting in my car and we're going somewhere? Like, this is all the stuff that was circulating through my mind. And that's why I felt so strongly about it. So again, I totally get what he's saying, because I know the person that he is. He's independent. He really doesn't feel like he needs to answer to anybody. But for me, it was like, we're in a relationship. I'm your girlfriend, not even like 2-month girlfriend, like we just started dating. We've been dating for almost 2 years now. I'm obviously someone that you're considering keeping in your life for a very long time. And I feel like I deserve that respect for you to tell me. So that's what was going on through my head.
And it's so funny that and that's why I love the fact that everybody in this world is different, but it's so funny that she was thinking that in her head, because in my mind, if she told me that she was carpooling with somebody from work and she was going to go to their house, or they were going to come to her house and they were going to carpool together, I would not have a problem with that. Honestly, I really wouldn't, because I trust the person who I'm with. And that's why I say I'm going back to what it was before. It was an issue of trust for me. I feel like she didn't have enough trust in the bank account, so to speak, for her not to let something like that even become a thought in her head. And for me, because I have a different background than her, I'm a lot more friendly than she is. You know, it's in my nature, me being a DJ and a recording artist and whatnot, but also the way I was brought up was very much a lot more friendly. It don't bother me. I don't care. You have a coworker that you're friends with, and you guys are gonna carpool to go to a work event during the daytime to save gas, or because, the person's car broke down or whatever. I don't care. Now, if you're telling me, oh, well, a couple of work friends, we're going to go to the bar and blah, 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 and it's after work, then I'll probably be like, okay, well, what time are we leaving? You know what I mean? Or something like that. But if it's a work event during the daytime, I really don't see what the issue is. And maybe you guys can disagree with me if you want. That's what the comments section is for. But I don't care if my partner wants to go carpool with somebody from work. So, and that's me personally. And I know it's probably a little interesting because, I don't do the whole work husband, work wife thing. But carpooling, I've never been against that, because I like to save my money.
And again, like I said in the beginning, like the carpooling part wasn't like, it wasn't the main thing that made me upset.
The house.
It was the her coming to the house thing. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, hell no. No, we're not doing that today. That's how I felt.
Well, there's a lot more that you could bring into that, but at a certain point we want to kind of wrap it up, and just suffice to say that obviously we moved past this situation, but we thought about it. We're like, this is a story that we probably want to tell into the safe space and let them kind of see a challenge that we overcame, and it might be something that's funny to discuss. So this has been a Safe Word story, and we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Next week is our season finale episode. Well, season 3, episode 10, season finale. Mm-hmm. And we are super excited.
Yeah.
And so
that's it.
Wrap it up.
That's it.
We love you guys.
Peace. Thanks. Bye.